Hi, I'm Keith Dills. I'm Dean of the College of Education at Slippery Rock University with the April 14th, 2020 college update. Lots of more good news to report. Dr. Laura Kelly, out of approximately 400 eligible faculty here at the Slippery Rock University, was named the Best Teacher of the Year award. Basically, it's called the award, the President's Excellence in Teaching Award, and she went through a rigorous process, and a group of her peers watched the finalists do teaching, and she was awarded this prestigious and terrific award. So congratulations to her. That's just absolutely terrific. We have students that are doing great collaborations with local school districts. Two student teachers have been reported to us as doing an especially terrific job. Sophia Jonow is at Mohawk Area School District with Jamie Grego, who is a Slippery Rock University alumni, and they're working together to put together online lessons, videos, interactive activities, just terrific things to engage the students of Mohawk Area School District at this time when they cannot obviously be face-to-face. And the second student is a student teacher at Upper St. Clair School District in at the Eisenhower Elementary School, and her name is Haley Woodward. And we're getting reports that she's doing videos and she's doing interactive lessons, and she's working with her cooperating teacher to develop the things that as best they can engage the students so that they finish the academic year having a productive school experience. So congratulations to Sophia and Haley. Our music education program has been doing some terrific outreaches. They have online, if you just Google Slippery Rock University Music Education, and you'll find every day or every other day around 10 o'clock in the morning, there's a 15-minute lesson open to local schools who want to have their students have a lesson on an instrument or something about music. And Kathy Malago, Dr. Malago, alerted me to this, and I know it's on Facebook, so congratulations to that, and please take advantage of that opportunity. And then finally, the College of Education, we have put together about 35 to 40 of our students, their education majors, studying to become teachers, partnering them with about 10 teachers at the Slippery Rock Area School District, where we'll have 3 or 4 of our students partner with one teacher at a time, and the teacher will say, I'm planning a lesson on inertia. Go out on the internet and help me to build the most engaging and powerful lesson that I can possibly deliver over the internet and through the learning software that they have. And that's what they're doing. They're partnering to find the best video clips, the best interactive activities, the best demonstrations to show how inertia works, for example, and how learning about these science topics apply to everyday life. So just a terrific outreach is going on, and congratulations, and keep up the great work. The last update that we had, we reviewed very quickly the CAPE standards, the gold standard for national accreditation for teachers, teacher education programs. And I asked, out of the 5, which of those 5 is the one to most give a university a problem? In the fall of 2019, the accreditors went to many different universities, and number 5 was the one that had the most AFIs, which is area for improvement, or even worse, a stipulation. And these are the types of things that we want to learn from. How can we learn from other universities' standard 5? And our standard 5, what we're doing to meet that, we have a quality assurance system that has many assessments. There are performance-based assessments in which the rubrics are built so you can operationally define what a good teacher would do. And this was developed by our faculty, and so it gives faculty guidance when they're teaching methods classes and early on education courses. What are the behaviors that they're targeting so that they model, so that they have our students read about, see video clip performances of both examples and non-examples of what we're looking for, and really try to build up their repertoire and their abilities to pull these terrific teaching approaches off. And so we have many different assessments. the rubrics. What we do is we then collect data on those rubrics. And so we can see how well in aggregate are we doing in the areas that we said we were going to do well in, by looking and seeing how our student teachers are performing, and by rating them on a scale of 1 to 3 in the different areas. And each one of those ratings is tied to performance operational definitions of what you'd see. And then you look at the aggregate data, you disaggregate the data and look at the different programs. And so why do you do all this? Well, because we want our student teachers to walk into the classroom and see these eyes and see these students looking to be taught. Yes, we're producing student teachers, but they're more teachers than they are students, because they have to perform. And so if a cooperating teacher would say to one of our student teachers, look at these groups of students, I'm going to tell you, when I look at the assessment data on the PSSAs and other sources of formative assessments, they are having trouble with the short O concept. When they decode and when they're trying to read, a large percentage of this class is getting tripped up with this. And so with our meeting standard 5 and a quality assurance assessment system, we know that students have been exposed to this type of thing, and they hopefully will pull from that previous experience and say, I'm going to guide discovery. I'm going to engage my students in looking at the very end of what teaching short O does. And can you lead students and walk them back from the end to the beginning, so to speak? Can you guide discovery and tap into what kids already intuitively know? What is in their prior knowledge that would help you build a better and stronger understanding and encourage them to apply and generalize concepts that maybe they already know? So might our student teachers come up with a stop sign and come into the class and start to guide the discovery and ask students, maybe point blank, what does this say? Can you read it? And many students will be able to read that. They'll tell you what that says. Some students maybe are English as a second language, or students with special needs. They might not get it. So our teacher candidates, our student teachers, have been taught you can put your students together and give them 15 seconds and have one partner tell the other what this sign says. And then you walk around, and if you pick the student where English is a second language, and you bring the class back and say, okay, I asked you what this sign says, and you ask Susie, what does it say? And you catch her being right and building her confidence and using what's called the interactive sequence. In other words, can you, as a teacher, be at the helm of the classroom, guiding discovery and getting all students going in the right direction, and getting students doing some peer teaching, certainly in that 15 seconds, but getting setting up all students for success. And so what if you walked into this classroom and it was a secondary education class, and the student teachers, or the cooperating teacher said to our student teacher, my students are having trouble writing clearly and directly. And through a conversation, they realize maybe there's a misunderstanding, or maybe not even knowing what's the difference between passive voice and active voice. And so through our meeting standard 5 and through our rubrics and giving students the guidance to think about, how do you guide students to discover how to use passive and active? Well, of course, novice teachers might say, I'm just going to ask a question, and the most obvious question is, who in here knows the difference between passive and active? But I think through our rubrics and through our feedback, we're realizing that encouraging students to guide discovery and be prepared to provide at least some evidence and something to analyze, and then scaffold, in other words, give hints and guide the students to realize what that principle is, and then you tell them what passive versus active is. So you might say, and write on the board, Tara threw the ball, and then the ball was thrown by Tara. And you ask the simple question, what is alike and what is different about these two sentences? So you're going to get an answer, and you can guide folks to come up with an answer between the differences between the two. And then you start to zero in, and that's when you might put folks together and say, why is the first one, Tara threw the ball, better? And is it better? Tell me which one you like and why. And most students are going to pick that first one because it's clear. Less words are used to communicate information, and we all know that the mind becomes weary if there are too many words to weed through, and we lose focus and we lose the ability to. So all this is to say that when our faculty are teaching our students, we use these rubrics to help to develop this guided discovery approach and engage students. We use the rubrics to say you need to look at the standards and look at the curriculum in the schools and look at PDE's guidelines and look at the CAPE standards and what we call the NTAS standards, things that we use to guide how to teach, but also what to teach. Should you be teaching active versus passive in 10th grade? Should you be teaching phonics and the word stop in, say, kindergarten with mixed ability classrooms? And I think our students can come up with the answers because we have our meeting standard 5, the CAPE standards, in an excellent way, and we are using the rubrics to align to standards, to provide us with guidance, but then to collect the data and to see overall. Here you can see secondary English, you can see early childhood, you can see physical education, you can see social studies, you can see special education, early childhood, dual, and you can see the performance of our student teachers over these different years, year in, year out. And we can look for trends, and we can look to see maybe there's ways that we can revive our curriculum or relook at our approaches to teaching so that we can move the needle up higher and get our students to perform better at the aggregate level. So as a unit, as a College of Education, we can remain proud to say that we are developing and producing students that are performing at the highest levels in the areas that we have targeted as a program to develop our students. And then what about at the disaggregate level? What about at the specific programs, and what can we do to evolve and develop? So to wrap things up, great things going on in the College of Education yet again. Awards being won. Congratulations again, Dr. Laura Kelly. Students and faculty doing a great job of collaborating with the local schools, and just this idea that meeting standard 5 is one thing we want to keep a focus on, and we want to make sure that we're reflecting on the data, that we have a system in place, that regularly we are making decisions and triangulating both surveys and anecdotal evidence, and that student teaching and field experience performance as defined by the rubrics. We look at the data, close the loop, and improve where we can. I wish you all the best of luck as you continue with all your hard work and good success.